Devontae Adams.
Oh, you got Devontae Adams?
Little Devontae Adams. Now, with that in mind, tomorrow's the Dolphins. I'm assuming Tyreek will be in that slot.
Tyreek or Tua?
Would be, I think. So here's the thing. Like,
Oh, do you want to show kind of like your advent calendar?
no,
No?
it's gonna be a pain to move.
Okay.
And if the camera didn't have like a link, like
Yeah.
if I would, if I could,
Yeah.
maybe like as we get a little closer, I'll
Okay.
get like one of the little tables or something, put it next
Yeah.
to me. And I wanted like, so next week I wanted to open up on the stream,
Okay.
or not on the stream, but on the
On
thing.
the podcast,
Yeah.
yeah.
But so, and I was looking at it, I was like, they did 24 teams. There's 32 teams in the NFL. And I was like looking at teams, I was like, okay, they don't have, they don't have the Cardinals. Like, I guess you could do like Kyler Murray would have been
Yeah.
like the only person that you could really kind of do for that one. And I was like looking at it, I was like, they have the fucking Giants on there. Who the fuck from the Giants
Yeah.
are they gonna put on there? And I was like, the only person it could be is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So you think you're gonna pull Saquon?
on the
The mythical Saquon?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
on the Giants. So that tells me how old this.
Yeah.
Well, not how old, how far in advance they make
Yeah.
these.
Someone made a whole big bunch of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining the MattCast podcast. I'm Matty Light with my co-host Matty J. We switched up names. We had kind
I
of
thought
been
we were going with. Oh, yeah, that works. All right.
yeah. It had been something we talked about from the start. We didn't like how Matty Heavy
We
didn't
didn't.
really roll off the tongue.
We don't need to like talk about it. We
Well,
just say
I
the
think
name and just keep it going.
you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't really need to get into it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it's okay.
I don't think it's that deep.
Okay. But yeah. Um Definitely an interesting weekend with sports and fantasy, at least for me.
I was
Um
surprised how you came away. I mean, I think after I saw your win, or after the last guy that you had to play,
yeah.
oh, Quentin Johnson, that he got that touchdown.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, okay, like I
Like
was like that should do it. I
yeah.
know Quentin Johnson's had a little bit of a year, but I knew with Lad McConkey
McConkey, yeah.
being out, then Quentin Johnson would just have to be that receiver.
Yeah.
Well, you want to
Yeah.
start with NFL? Let's start with NFL and then go into fantasy because that just makes more sense.
I was gonna we could just go over college football, do our normal thing.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
then
Because it was championship week
yeah.
and I fucked up and did not.
Someone calling you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey babe.
Hey,
What's
I have a
up?
question.
Okay, you're on the podcast, just a heads up.
Hey, sorry, I didn't
No,
realize
you can ask your question.
So I just got off the phone with Kittens, and she wanted to know if you want. She has 2 tickets to Afroman tomorrow or on Thursday at 9 in Lincoln.
At 9 in Lincoln.
Aquaman?
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh, Afro Man. Oh, at the Royal Grove. That's Grig's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't have work the next day, yeah, I would have loved to.
Or if you're in middle school.
Yeah. It's at 9 p.m., an hour away. And then we'd have to drive back. And then I'd have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
You used to do that shit for the Army.
Yeah, I'm not like that anymore, dog.
Really?
I think you could do it. I think you'd be all right.
No.
You'd be hurting at work, but you could do it.
Yeah, I already hurt at work every day either way.
No.
Figured it was a no. I just thought I'd ask.
Are you gonna go?
No.
Where are you wanting to go?
Got 2 tickets for $20. But it's okay. I don't really like Lincoln anyways.
Okay.
The whole city?
Yeah, there's a whole story to that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, babe. I'll call you after recording. Love you, babe. Bye.
Not to bring up, stuff outside, but you guys were talking about doing more of those like outside
Yeah,
activities.
but
Not that I
like
think that Afro Man is like the greatest date night in
it's
the
on,
world.
but it's also on a Thursday. Like if it was on Friday, yeah, I could say something at work, like be like, hey,
Yeah.
I could come up with something
Hmm.
to like, hey, I'm gonna be running a little bit late. I got to handle something in the morning.
Yeah.
But like on a Thursday night on during the work week, it's a little bit harder to pull that.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
Usually 4:30, 4:45.
I mean, how much sleep do you get? How much sleep do you need to get?
I like to try and get over 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, so you went. I mean,
I
from
I, I
9.
preferably try and get 6 hours of sleep.
Do you think is he performing at 9?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like
That's what
if
I would. I mean, because
yeah,
I doubt he's going from 9 to 12.
no, and like if it's a concert, it'll be like opens up at
What time do you have to
9,
get to work?
6, but it takes me 30 minutes to get there, and I wake up at 5:45 ish or so.
I thought you just said you woke up at 4:30.
4:30, 4:45.
So
Sorry.
all right, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to. So you wake up at 4:30. It takes you 30 minutes to get to work. What are you doing for that hour?
I'm usually fucking I leave by 5:15 and
Uh-huh.
try and get there by 5:45. Get there 15 minutes early or so.
Sure.
And then I usually also
Do you meet at the job site, or do you meet?
meet at the job site
Why are you showing up early at the job site?
because that's what my soup wants. He just wants us there early.
I get that, but you can't even work. So what do? Just
We
fucking
usually
chilling?
just sit around, dude, for like the first hour, especially now that it's dark so late.
I
I'm
get
I'm
showing
getting
up early
yeah,
because basically it's like, all right, as soon as X amount of time starts, I want you guys working, not showing
yeah,
up at 9 or
yeah,
whatever the fuck, but like
yeah.
5,
I
10 minutes early, like, I mean, cool 15,
yeah,
like, cool,
yeah.
but like, you're
No,
just fucking
trust me,
sitting
like
around.
trust me, it upsets me, and I
Mm.
usually just take more nap in the truck. But like, yeah, it's what he
Hey
wants,
man,
and
you're
I'm trying to.
young. You can only see Afro Man once. I did you also hear Aquaman at first?
Yeah, I heard
I was like,
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I didn't even know they made a third movie.
yeah. And why would I want to go see Amber Heard?
Did they even put her in the second one?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I think she's gonna be. There are talks of her being in a third one,
They're
if they
gonna
are
do a
gonna.
third one?
I thought I heard something.
Let's get into
Yeah,
football.
yeah. But so for conference championship week, Boise State UNLV, which we both had said pretty 21-7. Army beat Tulane 35-14. Oregon State beat Penn State.
Oregon.
Sorry.
Mm.
Oregon beat Penn State 45-37. Georgia beat Texas 22-19. Clemson beat SMU 34-31. Arizona State beat Iowa State 45-19.
I was about ready to say that all of like the big conferences were pretty close and competitive
Yeah.
until we got to Iowa.
So,
So you got to see that game in its
yeah.
entirety. I thought you would have some good notes.
Yes. So, the first thing I put in there is that we couldn't stop the
Oh,
run.
you wrote down notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't stop the run was pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
So
Yeah.
like we started to in the second half, that first
Was it still that same guy?
yeah. So like we did well.
Didn't he score 2 times in the third period or third quarter?
That was off of 3 interceptions or like 3 turnovers. But the drive before the
Mm.
turnovers, we started to like actually stop them.
Mm.
And then immediately going into that next drive, fucking Abu Sama fumbled. And he's only fumbled like one other time this season. Iowa State in total this whole season up until this game has only had four fumbles. So it was very rare to see our running backs fumble the ball. And then Rocco Beck fucking like he tried slinging it a little bit more sidearm and it just hit off one of his linemen's helmets and it popped up in the air and was intercepted.
Mm.
They scored again and then get the ball back and then Abu Sama got tag teamed on the next hit. He got hit low, then hit high, and then fumbled the ball again. And it's just like on that one, I couldn't really blame him on that one because like you're getting hit low legs and then high in the back. You're already spinning, and yeah, it was just that one. I'm sitting there like, God damn it! But yeah, that killed us.
2 hands on the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even when you're flying like that, yeah, it's just like that game would have been a whole lot closer and probably been a much better chance for us winning if we had not had those 3 turnovers. That was my biggest thing. The other one that kind of also fucked us too
When was the 3 turnovers? Weren't those all in the third?
in the third quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much the whole third quarter was eaten up by the 3 turnovers.
So at half, you're only down by 14.
Yeah.
And you're still thinking we're in this.
There's still a chance. Like Iowa State has consistently been a second half team, at least for offense. And like we started off strong. I'm like, all right, cool. We can still do this. We can still get back into it.
Mm.
And then yeah, like the 3 turnovers, and then Rocco Beck getting absolutely blasted with that targeting call.
Mm.
We had to settle for a field goal on that one.
Sorry. Hey, Aaron. These drinks that you got us, I think these would be way better in lemonade. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know why. But I do like a good raspberry lemonade.
Um,
Oh, that might work too.
the other thing is that like we could not stop them on 4th down.
Yeah, I heard they went a few different times.
Yeah, they went a few different times, and like there was a couple, and like they were all through the air, right? And so they loaded up the box, getting ready to stop the run on like a 4th and short, and they go through the air, and I'm just like, what the fuck, like. And like I get it, like if you're prepared for the run,
and you're getting chewed up by the run already.
Yeah.
There's that one guy, the one guy's touchdown. No, not the running back. There's the wide receiver.
Yeah.
He was getting like badly pass interference and still getting with a touchdown. I was like, God damn, that was a fucking great catch.
They were letting us play both sides play physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was like not mad at. I was just
Until
like
until the targeting, you're like, all right, that's a little
Well, like I
much.
get it, like if there's pushing and shoving on the like from the receivers and whatnot, but like a full on targeting hit like that, I'm like, all right, dog, like I get it, we're out here playing physical. That's a bit much. All right.
I bet you his eyes were gleaming.
Yeah.
Just ready to get that
One
hit.
thing to speak highly of Iowa State's offense though is that we didn't have a 3 and out until mid second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, cool. We just missed a couple field goals. Kung Rowdy. I mean, he's a freshman kicker and he's done well, but he's still making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm not super upset. I think he's going to work in the off season and like work on it, or we're just going to find a better kicker. Who knows? That's the one positive that I had is that like for compared to the rest of the season where we're normally a second half team and we're only getting 3 and outs or maybe a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
We had no 3 and outs until midway through the second quarter. I'm like, all right, cool. This is looking positive for us. It's why I wasn't like worried going into the second half, being down by 14. I was just like, all right, cool. We're gonna come back, make adjustments, continue to play like Iowa State, where we're mostly a second half team. But then we just couldn't execute in the fucking red zone either when we were there. We were getting close, and then that was all the fourth quarter was just field goal after field goal.
Yeah, 3 of them.
And it was like when we needed it clutch. For 2 of those though, we had our backup quarterback who's a freshman and looked very shaky, being thrown into that spotlight.
Is it to replace when Rocco Beck went out?
Yeah. And then the other Beck survived a huge targeting hit. I'm surprised he even went back out there and played a drive. So,
well, I agree. Going in the third quarter, only being down by 14, like you can look at it like we're only 3 drives away, at least, of taking back control of this game. Granted, it comes right off the board when you give up 3
And literally the first drive was a turnover.
three turnovers that all go for touchdowns. Like,
Yeah.
even if the defense could hold them to like a
Field
field
goal,
goal
yeah.
or
It just makes it that much harder.
yeah.
No, and I agree.
then
Like,
and I mean, I get it. You're just getting points, but if it's fourth quarter,
you need to be
like,
going for touchdowns.
yeah, at certain, I mean, depending on like what was the range and like what was it, like, was it 4th and 3 and they're just settling for a
It was
field
like
goal?
35-yard field goals, and it's just like,
Yeah, like 4th and 5
oh,
and
they were more deeper, like 4th and 7.
okay.
Where you're sitting there like, we should, but also like there is still time on the clock. Let's just go for the field goal, see if we can do better on the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then also one of them was right after Rocco Beck's hit, and the quarterback was just shaky, and they're like, all right, cool, like we don't have the best leader out there right now. We need to just get points up on the board. And that was that first field goal that we had in the fourth. And that one was fairly early, so I'm like, all right, cool. Like, they showed Rocco Beck walking back onto the field, getting his helmet. I'm like, all right, cool, we got a chance. But then he let him do his drive,
Mm-hmm.
got a field goal. I think that one was like a 40-something yard field goal. And then I think
So wait, you're telling me in the fourth quarter, when you're down 45-10, you're
yeah.
still looking at it like we
Oh
can
no,
come
not at that
back.
point. No,
Okay, I'm
no,
gonna say what? That's
no.
crazy.
But I'm saying
That's a sense of delusion that I don't fucking have.
that score would have been a whole lot closer, and I would have been happier with it if it was a whole lot closer.
Sure.
Saying like, okay, still we put up a fight, even though we didn't win. We at least didn't get 30-pieced.
Yeah, damn, 16 carries, so over fucking 10 yards a carry, 2 TDs.
Yeah. It was
That Higgins guy, he's a really good wideout for you
both of our
guys.
wideouts. We're the only team in the whole NCAA with two receivers over 1,000 yards receiving.
For Iowa State, have they had any big transfer portal
I haven't
announcements?
looked.
You haven't looked.
I'm also too afraid to see maybe some of my players that I like leaving. Especially since only 14 players are seniors that are not returning. And so I'm like, all right, cool. We have a very, like, some of it young, some of it experienced.
Yeah, you had a good mix.
Yeah, we have a good mix of it. And I'm like, all right, cool. We got a lot of the same guys coming back next year. We made it to the conference championship. Hopefully, we can do the same thing. Hopefully. Something I posted on the Instagram for anybody that does follow it. Iowa State is playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl against Miami.
That is crazy that.
Yeah.
Also, you guys, I think you guys are. I want to like look. When is that game?
It's the 20th. Oh yeah, next week is the Army Navy, or this upcoming weekend is the Navy Army game. Go Army, beat Navy. I'm definitely gonna be trying to watch that one. It's the only game for this weekend, and it's at fucking what time? 2 p.m. I don't know if that's Central or Eastern time zone. So the first bowl games are on the 14th.
Instead of going through each individual bowl,
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the days. So then Monday.
because we can hit up some of these as we go a little bit further down.
Yeah.
What do you think about the potential of Bill Belichick running North Carolina? Have you been seeing those?
I have been seeing that.
Apparently Bill Belichick agrees, and they're going through like they're looking at, but it's everything's rumored right now. Nothing is confirmed.
Yeah.
Except for like negotiations aren't happening.
Yeah.
I don't get why Bill Belichick would want to coach a college team.
No, I don't either. Maybe it's just to make more money again.
Yeah, but I feel like you could do that either doing because he was doing that like show on like the NFL network. I can't remember what it was, but maybe he just hated doing that, where just like
I
getting
think
into
that's
a
what it
suit
is.
and
He just wanted to get back into playing football. I feel like it's kind of the same thing of like
But why not even just do like a consulting job and just like
Yeah.
maybe he wants to be the one that makes the plays, like,
Yeah.
and I mean,
He's got a wealth of football knowledge.
and having like if you're a head coach and your consultant is one of the greatest coaches of all times, it's got to be
Yeah.
pretty fucking
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you have to sit there and play with that power dynamic
mm-hmm.
with your consultant and, your coaching staff.
Yeah.
So, like, I think he just doesn't want to deal with all that shit. So maybe that's why he's going into.
Well, you got to think that maybe not even that they want to deal with it, but like who wants to bring that on?
Yeah.
And maybe he's probably done with the NFL, and college is such a different landscape. But that's the thing that I would say. Not that like it's a historic thing about, but I mean NFL and college is a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I usually think that like when they do that transition, they tend to have not like a rough year, but I mean there hasn't
Yeah.
been except for Harbaugh, but I mean he
Yeah.
was NFL, college, back into the
Yeah.
NFL, so
I guess we can go over the college football playoff bracket next week.
yeah.
But the one thing I wanted to talk about though, when we were looking at the memes, is that like, yeah, I get like the strength and schedule and everything like that, but there's always been a consistent argument about like teams that are 12-0 and like maybe a weaker conference and whatnot, saying like, hey, we should be given a shot in the playoffs. Maybe this is
Can we pull up the bracket itself?
this is the bracket.
Like I want to see the bracket
Oh, okay.
because like then you can see who progresses
Yeah.
forward. Because here's the thing, I get that point.
Yeah.
However, giving Boise State a bye week,
A bit much.
that to me that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, I'd agree, like all the Power 4 conferences, maybe a bye week over some like the other, or like
like Oregon, Georgia, yeah, give those guys a bye week. Arizona
Yeah.
State, I think the only team that I kind of don't really like having a bye week going in and getting like rest is Boise. I get it because those are all the conference
Yeah.
champions except for Clemson.
So, and I was gonna say like throw in Texas and
for a bye,
yeah, throw in Texas
not
for
Texas, no, because they lost to Georgia
yeah.
in the SEC championship. Why would you give the number 1 and the number 2
Fair.
person a
Yeah.
bye?
Okay.
I would give. I mean, not. The only thing I would say is just not I would instead of Boise, I would put in Clemson because they did win the SEC
Okay.
or is it the ACC?
Yeah, the ACC.
Since they won, that would be the only change I have in that. But well, dude, that would honestly, I would love to see Boise State versus Texas.
Yeah.
When you're looking at this, I mean, kind of, do you want to do predictions of like who you think is going to win going in, or do you want to say that for next week? Of like who we think is going to win and then go further.
Let's save that one for next
We
week.
could do that next week, yeah.
Because next is talking about oh shit. Fuck. I clicked out of it too early. But yeah, next is talking about fantasy.
Should we talk about regular NFL first?
You want to talk about regular NFL first? Okay.
I mean, we're going to be talking about all these guys anyway.
One important news though, we finally broke our Thursday night drought of consistently being wrong by picking the Lions to be right.
Yeah, we had to fucking just wait for the Lions to get that Thursday night.
That's what we're waiting for.
Even though they had a really competitive game.
Oh yeah, 34-31. Yeah, it was fantastic. And then we had the Jags beating the Titans, which I was surprised that they did that after losing Trevor Lawrence.
First win of the season too.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, not first win of the season. First win
yeah. And it's just like that's interesting.
And I mean, fucking Mac Jones threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and somehow still won.
And they only, they won in the 4th quarter.
Yeah,
like they just put together 2 good drives.
Yeah,
but I didn't watch that game, so I don't know if there's more to that. But I mean,
I didn't watch it either. I was
why would you watch that game?
No. Then we had Jets Dolphins. 32-26.
Jets should be officially eliminated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we both picked the Dolphins on that one. And then going to the next one, Falcons, Vikings. I picked Vikings, you picked the Falcons. I ended up being right on that one,
Dude.
42-21.
Sam Darnold.
Sam
Because he
Darnold.
had that little bit of a lull a couple games ago where like they were still winning, but he wasn't
Yeah,
like really doing
balling
super
out.
hot.
Yeah,
This game, I mean, yeah, he
yeah.
turned it back
Fucking
on.
turned it up. And I was paying attention to this one, the Saints Giants, just because it was the other split that
I
we
was
had.
surprised that you went with the Giants. Can you explain the reason? I didn't want to ask you and sway your vote because
I
I'm still trying to
just
come back.
I thought the Giants might have a little bit better luck with Drew Lock, especially after the other game he had,
Sure.
where he kept it close, and I just didn't see. I thought maybe the Giants had a little bit more fire coming off of having Drew Lock and then playing so well in that last game.
I think the Giants, they know like season's done.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
here. I'm
thought.
trying not to get injured. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
play a couple more weeks, get my money, and then
yeah. I was just sitting there thinking like maybe they want to put a little bit more pep in their step after that last game.
no, I think the Giants, I couldn't imagine them winning
And
another
like
game.
I just didn't think the Saints were.
The Saints are still on the hunt though, so they
Yeah,
need to win this game. Like you can't afford if you want to try to get a
yeah.
playoff, at least a wild card spot. Because I mean, the AFC South is not the most competitive
Yeah,
right now.
NFC South. Yeah, yeah,
NFC, sorry to say
yeah,
AFC, sorry NFC. Like that's a game. If you want to stay competitive, you got to win
yeah,
that game.
yeah,
I mean, that was like, I mean, the Panthers. The Panthers were trying
yeah,
their fucking best, and they came real close to
yeah,
fucking winning that game
yeah.
versus the Eagles.
That's like what 3 games in a row now. The Panthers have.
It was by one scores.
Yeah.
Because what the Chiefs was a field goal.
Yep. And then who was it last week before that?
God
Fucking.
damn, who was it? I just go back. The Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another 3-point game, and then
Yeah.
and they were on a game winning drive, and
Yep.
was
And
it
then
Xavier Leggett?
Yeah. Fucking ball hit the turf.
Which I mean, like, you don't want to say, oh fucking what a bum guy. I mean, the guy fucking
He dove for that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
he just just
Yeah.
barely slipped through.
Just barely slipped through. And like I'd said it too last week. And I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's closed again.
Mm.
And like I was right too, a little bit.
I'm glad I didn't
I wasn't
for
gonna
this
pick
game.
I wasn't gonna pick the Panthers. But
Oh
like,
no.
yeah.
No, yeah. And I think that's what you said. You're like, I'm not gonna be mad if the Eagles win or lose.
Yeah.
The game that I'm glad because I was pretty close to picking the Browns.
Yeah.
I was pretty close. I was really thinking there like
They beat him last time.
yeah, but then I was like, do I honestly think they're gonna beat them twice in a season?
Yeah.
In Heinz Field, nah.
Yeah. And I was sitting there like, nah, Steelers are going all the way. Like, let's do it.
Mm.
And we had Raiders, Bucks, both picked Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
This one we also split on.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Cardinals, 30-18. I picked our Cardinals. You picked Seahawks.
What was your reason behind the Cardinals? I think we kind of brushed it over.
Yeah. I saw last game that they played, and the Cardinals absolutely like fucked them up on defense. And then like they played well on offense, but I think they were missing Marvin Harrison Jr. for that game.
Well, that's the one that was that the one where Geno Smith had the walk-in touchdown? Oh no, that was the 49ers.
But like
The last 16 seconds.
like the Cardinals had 5 sacks,
Mm,
and then I think an interception and a fumble
sure.
that game. And so I'm like, all right, cool. With how they performed last time, I'm going to lean more Cardinals than Seahawks. Just because I don't, but then I should have remembered, NFC West rivalry,
Well, those two, they're just going back and forth right now.
Yeah, they really are. There's no telling who's the better team on that one because, like, games they should win, they lose, but also, yeah, they're all just kind of going back and forth. Bills, Rams. I picked the Bills, you picked the Rams.
Mhm.
44-42, fucking wild game.
Dude, and I mean,
Puka Nakua with the fucking
every
tippy
Ram,
toe.
like the Rams did not have, and I think that's what led us to win, is we did not have like any sort of like miscues or errors that usually fuck us up. I would say the officiating was a bit soft, and I
Yeah.
think both sides. I mean, there was some like really bad pass interference calls on both
Mhm.
sides that like hurt like both sides of the field. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're looking at it like a fan, you're just like, man, like some of those fucking just didn't need to be like.
Yeah.
For example, fucking there was a like 40-yard pass that was called off because they called pass interference on the offense and the defense, and it's like I've never seen two of the same people get the passing
On the same pass.
on the same pass. Like there, yeah, you can be
I've never
competitive.
seen
I've
that.
never seen that before.
I've seen pass interference on both teams, but like it's one other dude way off
No,
somewhere
it's
else.
they were on the same
Yeah.
like the same route, and it was I. I mean, it would have helped the Rams, and
Yeah.
we ended up still scoring a touchdown from that drive.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say is maybe in the fourth quarter being a little bit more competitive.
Mhm.
Because I mean that's when the Bills had they were humming, and it you
Yeah.
know it wasn't 2 field goals, it was a touchdown, and the kicker. I don't know if it was a bad snap or something, but he kicked it like it was funky. It was not like a
Yeah.
wide left. It was like a. So
Yeah.
I thought I got tipped at the line. That we had a punt block touchdown.
Mhm.
So I mean, the only thing is just like our defense that I've been usually kind of hyping up. I mean, we didn't get a sack all game, which I mean, Josh Allen is so fucking elusive in the pocket.
Yeah.
As soon as you start getting that, he's gonna start
Yeah.
running. Which,
Josh Allen is just a faster Big Ben.
I wouldn't say a faster Big Ben. I would say a more athletic Big Ben, because
Okay.
Big Ben was he was a chunky boy.
Yeah.
And yes, he was slow as shit.
Yeah.
But both very physical, and yeah,
Yeah.
so I see what you're talking about there.
And strong fucking arms.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy fuck. I think
Um,
Josh Allen might have a stronger arm than Ben though. And this is me as a diehard Steelers fan.
Josh Allen having a harder arm than
Stronger
yeah,
arm.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if I would really agree with that. The one thing I'll say though, if you're Josh Allen, you just because you score 6 touchdowns
Yeah.
and you still don't fucking come away with the
Yeah.
win.
I
And
want
that's
to
the only
be
thing I would just if the Rams defense had a little bit more here and there. I mean, they did. I mean, they held them to fucking 21 points between. So I mean, it was 7-7-7.
Yeah.
While the Rams did their shit like where they were scoring off of those drives.
Mhm.
So I'm not mad. The only I wish we would have gotten like a sack or a turnover.
Yeah.
Besides that punt block field goal.
Yeah.
And then yeah, after this win. Well, I'll save it for this next week, because the Bears we thought should have beat the 49ers. Everyone's been kind of putting the eulogy together for the 49ers. I mean, they had
And
Nick
then
Bosa out, they had Trent Williams out, CMC's out for the year, Brandon Ayuk,
yeah.
Gordon Mason. There's so many people who are out,
Yeah.
and I mean
And then they dropped 38
yeah, they
on the
had.
Bears, 38-13.
And I think everyone's been kind of sleeping. I mean, I've been sleeping on Caleb Williams. He's had something, he hasn't looked like a total dog shit rookie
No.
QB that we've seen in other areas, like
I like if
beginning
he
of Drake
continues,
May,
if he continues on this path, I think he can end up
especially if they give him more weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, is it DJ Moore?
Yeah.
Like DJ Moore is good, but if you look at it as a lot of the clips of the show, it doesn't look like those two see eye to eye on a lot of situations.
No, not at all.
Which I don't know if they bring in DJ Moore to be like that, because I mean he was a Bear. He went to the Rams for a season.
Yep.
Didn't really do too much with us,
No.
and then went back to Chicago. So I don't know if they're looking for him to be
That guy.
leadership, type of guy. But I expected it to be a little bit closer, and I was honestly pretty shocked
Yeah.
when we lost that piece, a part of our our score
Yeah.
of who we thought would win and lose.
Yeah.
And then fucking Chiefs fucking pulled off another fucking last second field goal. I think that was
Yeah.
last second on the clock and drilled it for the game winner. So
Yeah.
I mean,
we both picked the Chargers.
they just didn't. The Chargers didn't do anything in the first half, which really
Killed them.
frustrated me.
Yeah.
Because we've seen them do really good ball, and I mean, the Chiefs defense is good. Like Chris
Yeah.
Jones is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He is going to be in the Hall of Fame. But you know, still, I mean, you didn't have McConkey in there. I can't remember if it was Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins, who's on IR now.
I think it's Dobbins because Gus Edwards was in there playing.
Okay, then yeah. And I mean, those two have been a really good 1-2 running combo, especially they're both coming from the Ravens.
Yeah.
So one of the things, the Chiefs keep winning.
Yep. Chiefs keep winning using their black magic on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And then we had the Bengals beat the Cowboys 27-20.
Did you see the punt situation
where they blocked the punt?
And then homeboy touched it.
Yeah.
And the Bengals recovered it.
Yep.
What an absolute idiot. What an absolute fucking idiot. Like, there is no reason for you to touch that ball.
Yeah.
Because once it is blocked, like, it's not like a live ball that you need to recover.
No.
Like, and I mean, you were just in such a bad position. I think it was on the sideline.
Yeah.
That, I don't know if it would have bounced out.
Yeah.
But
you didn't need to touch it.
You could have, I mean, at the very least, pushed it out of bounds.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Bengals recovered it, and it what led to Jamar Chase fucking touchdown. And
and we both picked the Bengals for that one.
Yeah.
I did not do well this week
comparatively than how you've been doing in the last couple of weeks.
130. I'm currently sitting at 136 for 68, and you're at 124 for 83. So, like, I mean,
I'm only down by 12. I don't feel bad about it anymore.
No.
I mean, if I really put my head, I would have done the Vikings over the Falcons. I was just, like, all right, I gotta try to get some in there when I can.
Yeah. You want to go over fantasy now before we make our next pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then I mean, there's some players, like, there's a guy who it gave up. And then Josh Allen scored him 55 points. He didn't have a tight end in, and he still came away and won that game.
So, I was playing against, did he draft him, who's a number 2 person, and I was playing against him without Lamar or Derrick Henry. I was honestly counting myself out to lose off the rip, especially when Jaden Reed scored me 0 points.
But the thing is,
against Detroit,
we talked about it that you could have went into that week and lost that game and been fine.
Yeah.
Now, Jaden Reed scoring you 0 points, I was very shocked with.
Yeah. And, like, I was sitting there looking between Darnell Mooney and Jaden Reed on who to start that week. Because I was like, because McConkey was still questionable. He wasn't out just yet.
And well, even if you put in Jerry Jeudy out of your flex position and put in Kraft into that spot, you still, I mean, and Arizona getting you -1 points. When I saw that, I was like, damn, that is tough. But you guys went into Sunday Night Football literally being like 110.42 to 110.38.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you guys both had one wide receiver left apiece. Yep. Now, both of them weren't exactly game changer running or wide receivers. You had Quentin Johnson, and he has Jalen Tolbert. So definitely one of those things that, like, I don't know who to call.
Yeah, and they were literally like, Quentin Johnson was predicted for 7 points, and Tolbert was predicted for 5.
Yeah.
So best case scenario, they both go what they're predicted for.
Yeah.
And then Quentin Johnson scored me 13. And then,
but at first he wasn't scoring you much until I think it was that, like, they didn't score in the entire first half. So when I saw that, I was like, that ain't good.
Yeah, he got me at least like 4 or 5 points. I'm like, come on, dude, like, one more reception for like 10 yards, please.
Well,
just hit your average. Like,
and you got that touchdown. I bet you probably felt pretty good after you got that touchdown.
I did. Yeah. I'm sitting there like, all right, now I really need to run up the score.
Because at a certain point, you feel like when you have someone on your bench Or yeah, when you have someone on your bench that scores, especially when you have a guy that scores 0 points,
Yeah.
and you have 2 guys on your bench who scored over 10 points, you really sit there and think like, I'm so
Yeah.
goddamn dumb.
I'm so stupid, especially in a close game like that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, fuck.
Mhm.
This one player getting switched out would have made this a whole lot less stressful for me.
Mhm.
And yeah. And I'm like, the people on his bench didn't really do much for him either.
Yeah,
like,
that's what he
yeah.
had his best players right
Yeah.
now. Only thing he could have done is if he took Jawan Jennings, put him in the wide receiver spot, and then he could have put in Kyle Otten,
Yeah.
another tight end, to give him 8 points.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have even helped him win
No.
at the end of the day.
And like if we'd put in players on our bench to replace our fucking scoreless people,
Mhm.
it still wouldn't have mattered. So like I'm happy that I won. I also, wasn't really hurting if I did. But what after we cover all the games from last week, our fantasy games, I want to talk about the league positioning stuff going into next week's
Mm.
because this is crucial for like you're already at the number 8 spot.
I have
Right now.
I have a tough
Yeah.
matchup this week.
But you had Tom.
Oh,
You want to go over yours
but
next?
not me, but like he had his top players were Jawan Jennings, 24 and a half, Saquon 14 and a half, B. John Robinson, and Jalen Hurts. You had Sam Donald who went off for you.
Yes.
So I think I was telling you to trade him away early in the season. So good thing you kept on to him. David Montgomery was pretty big for you. So was Jerry Jeudy. But George Kittle actually too, 18 points.
Yeah.
But like Sam Darnold was definitely your MVP going into that one, especially coming off your bench. He was.
Yeah.
I don't think he was your starter at all this
No,
week.
he has not
Or
been my starter
ever.
at all.
Yeah. So.
So Tom, I'm a Kiss Your Kids Brady.
Mhm.
Um,
He was the one that I was talking about gave up.
yeah,
Totally gave up.
totally gave up, and like he was going up against the G spot, and it was looking like a pretty easy G spot win until Josh Allen scored him 51.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, that helps.
Well, like
If he would have put in his tight end,
yeah,
and he had Jordan Addison on his bench. Like if he would have just put in
Yeah.
a little bit of effort, honestly, depending. Well, the only thing I would have done differently if I was him is instead of having Myers in his flex position, having Jordan Addison.
yeah,
But this could have been a very winnable game. San Francisco scored him 13 points. He had Sanders, who is Miami's kicker, who got him 16. And Josh Allen, 55 points. Cooper Kupp got a touchdown. I think Najee Harris got a touchdown.
I think so too.
The G spot kept it competitive. Josh Jacobs, probably like the number 3 running back in the league
Yeah,
right now, scored 20. And then the Cincinnati's running back who they picked up, Brown, got 21 points, and the Russell got 16 points. But if Tom, I'm gonna kiss your kids Brady, kept up with this, could have been a very winnable
Yeah.
game from the get go.
yeah.
But yeah, he
Like,
still won
initially, I was
140 to
looking-
130.
Initially,
Sorry, to 103.
I was looking at it, and it was predicted pretty heavily in the G spots.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
And then going to that Bills game, completely different ballpark. I was just like, oh my god, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Now going to the next one, coming for you against Auto Draft Dream Team.
Again, a team that Auto Draft Dream Team could have won. Let's talk about the players he didn't swap out: Zay Flowers, Kenneth Walker Jr. the third, Raheem Mostert, Michael Pittman Jr. So you had a bye, and 2 people who are out.
Yeah.
Um,
And he left Shakir with 19 points.
He was in that second half of the game. He was chewing up the Rams secondary.
Odunze with 18 points.
Even switching out Tua for Baker.
Yeah.
You're only a difference of 2 points there.
Yeah.
But
but still 2 points though.
And Tampa Bay defense got him 10. Aubrey got him 9. Justin Jefferson got him almost 30.
Yep.
And then you look at it on coming for you. I mean, their big player with Jamar Chase, 38, Kyler Murray, almost 20, Dondell, 15, Garrett Wilson, 15,
Yep.
Achane, almost 16, the Kansas City kicker, 16.
Yep.
You know, pretty competitive game this one could have been,
Yeah.
and it wasn't.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
this is where you're in the part of the fantasy where people who are going to the playoffs are going to keep looking at their apps
Yeah.
every week, and then people who don't care,
Just not giving a fuck.
not
Yeah.
giving a fuck.
An auto draft dream team, he's our friend, and he never really checks fantasy.
Unless I tell him, like, hey,
Yeah. It's like, hey, dog,
you're playing this week. You know that, right? Just like
you know
last
you're
week.
playing every week, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one weekend and you just forget about it.
Yeah.
One of these years, he's just gonna forget about everything and he's gonna win it all.
Hey, man, like his name implies, the auto draft dream team.
Yep.
He auto drafts them, he auto plays them, and he
Just
hopes for
lets
the
it.
best. Yeah.
Just hopes something good happens. You went up against Amon-Ra Duggan,
Mm-hmm.
122-78.
Mm-hmm.
Huge win for you.
Yeah.
Especially with that amount of points too. I think that dragged you. The points dragged you into 8th place pretty heavily.
Correct. Yeah.
And then, I mean, you had Jared Goff, who had 23 points,
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill with 23 points,
Mhm.
Kyron Williams, 22,
Mhm.
James Conner with 20. Those are your biggest contributors on your team.
I'm ahead of the guy in 9th by 3 points.
Yeah.
So that big. Now, if I can win this game, I would be 6-9.
Yep.
For the meme, and I could potentially be going up to 7th place, and I would
Yeah.
feel pretty good there.
Yeah.
But there's no, I cannot go further than
Yeah.
7.
And then Epstein's Flight Log went up against Two Girls, One Cup, scored 108-35. Another one of those dudes who just gave up, compared to Epstein's Flight Log, who also just never checks his phone.
Mm.
I think this week he definitely did because he switched around some players that were injured and shit. So like, I don't know if someone texted him or something like that. Yeah, because like he had Shaheed on his fucking.
Maybe he just remembered. Maybe he
Yeah,
I didn't
maybe.
text him.
I didn't text him either, and it's just like I just figured, you know what, fuck it, like he's already at the bottom. There's not much more he can do, like to drag himself out of it. And then you have Patrick and Mahomes, who scored 130 over OJ was Frames 100.
I think this is the big upset of the week.
This is the big upset of the week.
Yeah.
He was number 3.
I want to settle something.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say his name. I can't say his name. I gotta call him.
Okay.
Because I wanna.
But yeah, so Patrick and Mahomes scored. Puka Nacua scored him 35 points.
What's up, dog? Hey, man, you're on the podcast if that's okay.
Oh, shit.
I got a question for you. More of an accusation, honestly.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Are you the one controlling your fantasy, or are you giving that off to a friend to take care of?
No, I'm doing it.
You're doing it?
Yeah, why?
Well, it's just the last couple years, I don't think you've ever really given it much of a thought, but this year you've been actually keeping up with it. So honestly, I was accusing you because I thought you were just giving it to a buddy and having them take care of it for you.
What does that mean? Because I got lucky, like my team was winning. I've been dog shit the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, losing to Pat like that is pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, this is my auto draft dream team pretty much. It feels like the last 2 years I've been on alert. I just like it.
Well, you've been doing good. You're gonna make the playoffs for sure.
Well, that's if he wins this week.
All right, buddy. I will talk to you later.
Juan Soto, fuck you.
Yeah, the Yankees offered what 16 years, and there he was like, nah, 15, right next door.
16. Okay, hold on. 16. Just think about this, right? Shohei Ohtani got $700 million, right? Deferred money for 10 years, and he pitches and hits at the highest level, right? Checks out. Aaron Judge got $400 million for 10 years, and he's the best hitter in the league. Juan Soto can't even fucking play defense. He's not that good. He's not bad. He's a great hitter.
Aaron Judge
He
can't play
got-
defense either, especially in the World Series.
It's not like he plays center field. He fucked up, and that is like
At one bad play. One bad play
What a
that'll haunt him.
bum.
Yeah.
poor timing. Very poor timing, but and getting with all of the incentives and shit, or what is it? If he opts out, he can get more money. If it goes as planned, he can get $805 million to just be like a pretty good hitter. Are you kidding me? $800 million.
Makes you wish that you stuck him with baseball instead of doing ROTC, huh?
I guess, yeah. I mean, probably be rotting away in like Juco.
Constantly in the
How do you
transfer
boys think about
portal.
that? Am I crazy? Like,
No, you're
No.
absolutely right.
amount of money?
I thought whenever I saw that the Yankees offered him a pretty comparable piece, my first thought was, I guess he wants to grow a beard or something.
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
I heard part of it too is like he wanted like a box at Yankee Stadium included in it, and they were like, no, like Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez both pay for their boxes, and then Mets guy was like, yo, we'll give you a box, and he's like, okay.
That's it.
So, well, yeah, that and another 50 mil or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess that helps.
Yeah, you throw an extra 50 mil on it.
Just to be a pretty good hitter.
Yeah.
He is a great hitter, 100%, but he's not Aaron Judge. Like, the only thing you can say is that he's 25 years old, so he's got a lot of time still left.
Would you have thought that potentially if the Yankees did pay for Juan Soto, don't you kind of think that maybe down the line that they would potentially lose a guy like Aaron Judge?
Potentially lose Aaron Judge?
Yeah. Because
I
after a
mean,
while
Aaron
you can't
Judge-
pay for both those guys.
I mean, the Yankees money.
They do. Yeah, I mean, but wouldn't you rather keep Aaron Judge opposed to losing him to Juan Soto?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know how long Aaron Judge will be around, like hitting at a high level, but I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that these contracts are getting out of control. Because like a few years ago, I feel like 200 or 300 million was like, damn, this is falling out. But now, this guy got 800 million. 800 million. The guy can't even steal a base.
Can't even steal a base. No, you're 100%. You're spitting facts. Hey, have you ever thought about starting a baseball podcast?
I don't think people would hear what I have to say. I think I probably just repeat other shit that I hear from other baseball podcasts.
That's what I do, dude. It
Yeah,
works out
same
just
here.
fine.
Yeah.
I feel like fraud, man.
You just called it frauds. He's like, yeah, if you guys do that, you're fucking frauds.
I don't know.
Hey, he's been featured on our podcast before.
What?
Well, I'm gonna let you go, but we can probably give you a call back. I was gonna say, I thought you would be working.
No, I just got off work.
No, he hit it off
iPhone
his phone to
voice.
someone else.
But yeah, we'll because I want to talk about Christmas stuff and kind of what your days are.
Okay.
Oh, actually, sorry. Before I let you go, I just thought of something, dude.
What's that?
Did your mom talk to you these last couple of days?
They talked to her today.
Okay. Did she mention anything about me?
No, what did you do to my mom?
Okay. No, it's like I was trying to FaceTime my girl and I was doing Siri and I was like, hey, FaceTime, first name, enter
Yeah.
here. And it was taking her forever to pick up the phone. But I wasn't looking at the screen. I didn't look at it until it went like it didn't connect the call. I accidentally was trying to FaceTime your mom at like 2 a.m. And I was like, oh my God, I have to I don't know what I can possibly
Just
say.
throws phone out the window, breaks it.
If that was a text time call, if my mother Oh, it's on your willy.
No, it was not a sexy time. I mean, I wouldn't immediately open the call with my dick just waggling the screen.
You got the Borat fucking banana hammock on.
But okay, I'm glad your mom didn't say anything because I've been thinking about that the last couple days. Like so much so that when your grandma came to my work, I was just like, I'm avoiding her. I don't want to talk to her. Like I'll see her later. I need this press to go over.
It's fine. You can flash my mom. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. I had to get that. I had to get that off my chest before we hung up.
So, Diddy Drafton is currently at number 2.
Mm.
Coming for You is at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
OJ is Framed is at number 4, but he's got Auto Draft Dream Team on his heels right now. And then, so like, if OJ is Framed was to lose this week and Auto Draft Dream Team wins, Auto Draft is getting into the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
So we need to text him like, hey,
yeah,
at least before Thursday, look at your shit.
G-Man's team.
Who does he need? He needs who to lose?
He needs OJ was Framed to lose.
Oh,
yeah, like it is on his heels.
Well, didn't you say Coming for You was also in there?
Coming for You is at number 3, but he's 9-5.
Mm-hmm.
While OJ is Framed is, but he's also over OJ is Framed by 200 points. So,
so potentially, I'm playing Coming for You.
Yeah.
If I upset him, which is a very strong maybe.
Yep.
If I beat him, which I beat him earlier in the season, let me just
Yes.
shout out first win. What does that do for the next
So he just drops down to 9-6.
Uh-huh.
He'll still be in the playoffs for it,
Right?
but he'll probably still be at number 3. So it looks like
So wait, so Coming for You is 9-5.
Yeah.
Who are the next two?
OJ is Framed is 8-6.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And Auto Drive Dream Team is 7 and
He's also 8-6.
he's also 8-6. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
What is their point difference?
1470 to 1394.
Yeesh. Okay.
Yeah.
Do those two play each other? It'd be cooler if they played each other.
I don't think so. If you want to look ahead,
I will look.
the G spot is 7-7 at 6 with 1400 points. Two Girls One Cup is 6-8.
Oh damn!
He's just above you.
Diddy Draftum is playing OJ's Framed, so the number 2 guy in our league is going versus the number 4 guy who needs to win this game to stay in the playoffs.
Yeah.
While Auto Drive's Dream Team is playing the G spot, who is the number 6 guy. So like, here's the thing: the G spot can totally just kill.
So if Diddy draft him,
so here's what Auto Drive Dream Team needs. Auto Drive Dream Team needs to win, and he needs Diddy draft him to beat
OJ was framed.
OJ was framed. All he needs is a win.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have a win, and even if he loses, but if the G spot beats Auto Drive Dream Team, he's in.
Yeah.
So there's more on it for Auto Drive Dream Team to win. Like he needs more.
Yeah.
Than OJ was framed.
Yeah. You got G spot at number 6 with Two Girls One Cup at number 7, 6-8 with 1246. And then you have you at number 8, who's 5-9 with 1409. Tom, I'm gonna kiss your kids, Brady. Also at 5-9, 1406. Patrick and Mahomes 5-9 with 1333. Amon-Ra Doggin 5-9, 1285. And then Epstein's Flight Log coming in the rear 4-10 with 1138.
So let me tell you why I think I have a really good chance of beating Coming for You this week. And this is probably where I can end my fantasy talk. So Jared Goff is going to be playing versus Buffalo.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
Yeah. And Buffalo has shown they don't have the greatest defense.
So I feel like that game is going to be a fucking just a shootout
Yeah.
again, like just how it's been. And here's the thing: so either, and this is the struggle that I have with the Jared Goff starting fantasy owner is either he's scoring the touchdowns or it's fucking
Jameer Gibbs
and David Montgomery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, and then his quarterback is Kyler Murray, who's going versus a kind of sleeper defense in New England.
Yeah.
I still expect I'm probably going to roll with the Cardinals to win that game.
Yeah.
But I don't expect he's projected to do 20 points.
Yeah.
I don't really foresee him scoring 3 touchdowns
No.
potentially. Tyreek is I got Tyreek. He's going to be at Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Houston's kind of shown that, I'm honestly, I'm going to be rolling with the Dolphins to win over
Yeah.
Houston just because Houston hasn't really been putting together those wins
Mhm.
that I feel confident to go like, okay, they could take care of business at home.
Yeah.
D-Hop has been coming out for me these last couple weeks. He's been scoring.
Oh yeah, he has.
Byron Williams, they only got him at like basically 14 points. I feel like he's going to get in there and he's going to beat San Francisco.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to have Sam Laporta in over Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
And then I got Joe Mixon back. And Joe Mixon, been one of my best starters.
Yeah.
And then Los Angeles defense is going versus Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I could see them potentially not doing super hot just because, well, I got to take a look because I don't know. I think the only players that Tampa Bay has is for offense is Otten, Mike Evans, and I don't know Bucky Irving because I think he didn't get carted off last week.
I think he did. Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
I want to say yes.
Now, what coming for you needs to change, and what I will probably do because I'm a good sport, is his kicker is projected 0 points. So I don't know if they maybe got Harrison Butker back, and he has no kicker
on his lineup
on his bench at all.
Yeah,
like no backup one. Him. He's got Kyler Murray, he's got Jamar Chase, he's got Cortland Sutton, he's got Dondell,
Yeah,
or Dowdell.
I think it's Dowdell.
Yeah, sorry. He's got Alvin Kamara, Njoku.
He's got some heavy hitters.
Yeah, he's got David Anchan, and he's got New York's defense, which going versus Jacksonville. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's a team that fucking he threw 2 picks against
yeah,
like not a really solid defense in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
I'm going up against 2 girls, 1 cup this week,
Mm.
which is someone you need me to beat.
Who?
2 girls, 1 cup, who's just above you.
Yes. Yeah.
Just to get you a little bit more secured in that playoff spot or the consolation playoff.
Yeah. Which if I go into the consolation, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like you need me to win, but even if you like, I'm still nervous just because he does still have some heavy hitters like T. Higgins.
Does he have anybody that's like on bye or?
He's got Brees Hall is questionable, and then Bucky Irving who's questionable.
Okay.
But he's also got Travis Kelce, Marvin Harrison Jr., T. Higgins, and C.J. Stroud. So I'm sitting there like, C.J. Stroud is definitely due to have a game.
Versus Miami's defense, though?
That's where I'm sitting there like, it might not be this game, but it could be another one. So.
Does he have any other quarterbacks on his bench or anything?
He has Jameis Winston. Yeah.
I think you're pretty good going in. How do you feel being potentially 14-1 going into the playoffs?
I feel good.
Yeah. Do you think that you're going to be one of those teams that you do really good and then when you go to the playoffs you're just absolute garbage?
See, and why I'm thinking it's going to end up being bad where I'm a first round out is because Lamar and Derrick Henry are going up against Steelers the first week of the playoffs.
Mm.
And so I'm sitting there with this fucking
And that's
in Baltimore, I believe. And I'm sitting there like, the
You're
Steelers
like,
absolutely decimated
oh
them
God.
last week or last time they played. Is it going to happen again, or are the Ravens going to come out?
The
and make
Ravens are going to make an
adjustments?
adjustment for sure. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, you see my brain fuck
yeah,
with like, I'm going to need all my players to be getting all the points just in case
yeah.
Derek and Lamar don't play well that first week. And so I'm really hoping a weaker team falls in that 4th spot.
Mm-hmm.
Just so like
You're
I go
like,
up against
all right.
them, like I can feel a little bit more confident about playing them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm sitting there like, man, I really need a weaker team at the number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see how like it's literally been rattling my brain since week 10.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle this problem other than like
There's only if I'm being cheeky, there's only one guy in the top 4 right now who I don't want to win. And I won't name names, but
yeah. Thankfully it was off screen.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. And I'm sitting there like, what I really need is an auto draft dream team to get in there. Not to talk poop on, that person, talk shit. But like I feel like he's definitely the weaker option between OJ was framed.
Also, that's why. Oh.
Yeah, so I'm really pulling for auto draft dream team to win.
That's why you want that.
Yeah. And like I think he's the weaker team. And
I'm just looking.
he would be my first opponent going into my
Yes.
probably my second hardest week
Mhm.
with Lamar versus Pittsburgh. And
The last time that happened, what did
I was playing against Auto Draft Dream Team, and I lost to him. He's my only loss.
Oh, so he could do it. He could do it
Yeah,
again.
he could do it again.
So you're kind of like it's. I mean, it's a revenge game.
Yeah, it's a revenge game. Yeah, I'm sitting there like I'm really hoping.
But it's funny that it could potentially happen twice.
Yeah, it is funny.
Potentially happen twice.
But I'm also wanting the weaker team, and then hope for Diddy draft in the beat coming for you. Because if who is it? Oh no, I don't.
That's gonna be a good one.
Did he draft him? Jalen Hurts is going up against Washington and Dallas. No, sorry. Yeah, in weeks 16 and 17. So I don't want him, just because the Eagles will fucking.
But yeah, I think they're getting towards the end of the season that they're not going to have their starters. And that's why I kind of want to take a look at the standings as we get a little closer, because I mean, there's teams that are already clinching playoff berths, and there's other teams that are already, already eliminated.
Sorry, we didn't go through all the matchups either. So we did auto draft dream team against G Spot. Did he draft him? Amon-Ra Doggin against Epstein's flight log. And then Tom, I'm a Kiss Your Kids Brady against Patrick and Mahomes. That's the only two that we didn't cover. But yeah, it's just like I've been rattling with this problem for so long. I'm sitting there like not even worried about the current week I'm playing in. I am just looking at the field.
You don't need to.
No, I'm not.
You could lose. Well, this is the last
couple games. Yeah,
this is the last.
I could have lost a couple of games and been just fine.
Yeah,
but like I'm still just like thinking about the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Once I knew I was locked in for it, I'm like, all right, cool. Who do I have to play? What are my players playing against on defense? How do I set myself up to have the best chance for the most points? But yeah.
So let's talk about week 15 of the NFL. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, Rams 49ers.
That one's got me
in San Francisco. The fact that the Rams are the underdog to me is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. So you look at it 2 weeks ago on a more put together 49ers team, they lost to the Bills 35-10.
Yeah.
We just fucking beat the Bills, which I don't usually do that comparison. But when you're still looking at the 49ers, Like, here's the thing. The only person I'm worried about on the 49ers team going into this week is Juwan Jennings, because he had a
Yeah.
really good game last week. And when he played us, he had a monster game. I think he
Yeah.
had 45 fantasy points.
Yeah,
But I think Sean McVay makes those adjustments.
I think so too.
And whenever we were playing them, both of our teams were really beat up. We are the healthier team going into
Yeah.
this. I mean, click on the thing.
You guys being healthier is the only reason why I'm going with Rams on this one.
Yeah.
Because of like last game when you guys were both broken, it was a different ball game for
Look,
it.
they have it as a fucking almost 40-60 split.
Yeah.
And they have, like, their
I
running
don't
back,
agree with
I've
you.
never even fucking heard of their
No.
running back.
He's the third stringer, and then they have 2 more backups from their
Practice squad, yeah. And I feel like after the game that they just played against the Bills, the defensive coordinator is going to go like, all right, yeah, we won, but there's some stuff that, like, we're going to get. And, like, here's the thing. Trenton Williams, who's out last week, is questionable this week.
Yeah.
If he's not going to be there, Brandon Frisk and fucking Jalen Hurts, are going to get back there and cause major havoc because, I mean, I feel like they're going to be bringing a lot of pressure this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those new running backs are going to be well suited enough to block are they good run backs or block running backs?
I don't think so. Probably not. Just, I mean, like, they are professionals for a reason. But, like,
And again, speaking about professionals for a reason, I understand that Vegas knows. And I know the 49ers tend to have our number in the regular season.
yeah.
I do not understand
Yeah.
at all. Like,
I think
if you're a 49ers fan and you're looking at me like, what things can you tell me
yeah.
that the 49ers are better at? I mean, so, like, George Kittle, outstanding tight end, better than our second string tight end that we have, because our last one got his ACL blown up by Detroit in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Tyler Higbee, I'm
Yeah.
blanking on his name. Other than that, I feel like I don't know if Nick Bosa is going to miss another game. He missed last week.
Yeah.
But especially like Kyron, he didn't have big run plays last week, but he still got 2 touchdowns. And I feel like he's gonna have some big runs
Yeah.
this week against the 49ers.
And he had pretty good runs last time you guys played against him too.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and that was on a beat up team.
Now, I do understand the short week for both teams.
Yes.
And I mean, the 49ers had they had a very physical and a very explosive game against the Bills.
Yeah.
But luckily, we didn't have a whole lot of injuries come out of it. So, but yeah,
they were sitting there Monday watching film in ice baths.
Yeah.
That's how they were. It's just like after a game like that.
So they're projecting, I'm still going off a bit. So the spread right now is the 49ers are -2.5. So they expect us to beat us by less than basically 3 points. They're expecting us to lose by a field goal. And then they expect the over-unders between both to be 49.5.
Yeah.
I don't expect the 49ers to be scoring a ton of points.
No.
I think, good on them for scoring 35. Was it 35 on the Bears?
Yeah. 30. Yeah. 38. Yeah.
38, excuse me. The team that we were when we lost to the Bears is not the same team that we have now.
Yeah.
So this is a very easy win for the Rams. And we're staying competitive. If we win this game, we're like right
Are you
there.
guys locked in for it, or
excuse me? What do you mean?
Playoffs?
Not yet.
Okay.
Our division is so tight. I mean, that's why I want to look at it. We're all like 1.5, 2 games back.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers are at the very bottom of our division, and they're 6 and 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's tight.
Yeah, definitely very fucking tight. Then we got Chiefs Browns. I'm probably gonna go Chiefs.
So you know how I make a lot of dumb decisions.
You're gonna go Browns.
I'm gonna go Browns.
I will not be mad if the Browns win.
I'm doing it. I'm a big J-Bo fan.
Yeah, and I knew so when I saw that, I knew you were gonna pick the Browns.
Yeah.
I could have easily typed it in without showing you that game.
Yeah.
And just been like, oh yeah, you're picking the Browns.
And here's the thing. Potentially, the Browns are just going to lose by 3 points.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I need fucking 12. I need to outplay you in 12 games, and I'm not going to do it by being a sissy and picking the Chiefs. So. And it's in Cincinnati, too.
Yeah.
So.
Or snow on them.
Cleveland, not Cincinnati. Sorry, I was looking at the Bengals because they're next. Sorry.
Yeah. So Bengals, Titans. I'm gonna go Bengals on this one.
I will also go Bengals on this one. Even though they potentially almost lost to the fucking
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah. The Bengals are over the place with me, man. Commanders Saints. I'm gonna go Commanders.
I will also go Commanders.
And then we have Ravens Giants. I'm gonna go Ravens.
Same.
Oh fuck! This is also like I'm not nervous for this week, but I'm also not super nervous just because the Ravens are playing against the Giants.
I'm not. Oh, you're talking about for fantasy.
Yeah, for fantasy. Yeah, I'm like,
dude. If are you, this game you don't even need to give a fuck about. You're gonna be the first place guy, win, lose, or draw.
I know.
There's no reason for you to really give a fuck this week. The only thing that you need to be looking at is how all the other teams. That should be your main worry. Is how the other teams perform on fantasy. You don't need to give a fuck
I'm
about
still
your team.
like putting in,
Unless fucking Derrick Henry and Lamar both had season-ending injuries, then you can be fucking scared about your team this week.
Like you'll see me crying and then a gunshot.
Yeah.
And then I just hand you my phone and fucking handle it. Fuck. All right. So Cowboys Panthers.
I'm gonna go back to how we were at the beginning of the season and all of last season. I'm not gonna pick the Cowboys. I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Especially how like the Panthers have been playing.
Yes.
Only losing to like pretty good teams by 3 points. I mean, Tampa Bay, Eagles, and Chiefs, all three teams who are looking to be in the playoffs, only losing to them by a field goal or close to a field goal. I think the Eagles
all one-score games though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like I'm going Panthers on this one. I think the Cowboys are bums, and
I think Bryce Young. I think he wants to end the season on a high note. And I think when you look at it, like you cannot really look at him and go like he's a huge bust.
No,
from what you're seeing so far.
Not with this latter half of the season performance that he's been having. You can't call him a bust.
Especially just with like the tools that you give him.
Yeah. Now, like he could be potentially playing this much harder for better trade stock.
I don't think that they would trade him his first season.
No, this is his second season. Bryce Young already played a season, last year.
Excuse me. His second season. If anything, because he's going to be off of his rookie contract, he's going to be looking for like, hey,
better contract. Like, hey, I played pretty well though those last.
You can give me a little bit more money.
Yeah.
This, I don't even know.
I'm gonna give it to the Jets.
I'm
gonna go Jets over Jags.
I've been seeing the Jets lose games that they should possibly win. And last week we saw the Jags win when there's literally no reason for them to win.
Yeah.
It's divisional ball, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. They're not in the same division.
They're both in the AFC.
Yeah, but they're not in the same, like, north.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're conference. They're,
yeah.
Oh, man. I could just be a total coward and pick the Jets. Which is
probably what you're going to do.
You know what? I'm going to be brave. Mac Jones is going to go back in, and he's going to fucking beat the Jets, dude. Mac Jones is going to look at his former team in the face and go, fuck you, dude. I'm winning.
He looks at Aaron Rodgers and says, fuck you. Flips him the bird.
I'm going to fuck your mom tonight.
Texans or Dolphins Texans.
Like I said earlier, I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mad if the Texans win. I'm not trying to totally write off the Dolphins, but I think the Texans need to win this game.
Yes, they do. They're fucking 8-5,
and Indianapolis is kind of coming on their ass.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm for Colts Broncos. I'm gonna go Colts.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry, Broncos.
I'm also gonna go Broncos. I like Bo Nix right now. If I'm looking at my offensive rookie of the year, it's Bo Nix 1, Jaden Daniels 2. I'm taking out Marvin Harrison Jr. and I'm putting in Brock Bowers, the rookie tight end for the Raiders. that guy could be so much better if he had a good QB.
Yeah.
But he's
Oh,
already really
100%.
fucking
Yeah.
good.
Then you have Bills, Lions.
I'm gonna stay Lions faithful, but here's the
Yeah.
thing, dude. I could totally see
The Bills winning.
I can see the Bills win. Like this is a really hard game for me to choose. I'm only going with the Lions. I don't have a good reason why I'm going with the Lions.
Other than Lions faithful.
Other than Lions faithful, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Bills could. They definitely can.
Yeah.
The
It's
thing is,
definitely a 50-50 game.
the one thing I will say is the Lions defense is so much better
Yes.
than the Bills. And that's at least what that's all I'll
And
say
like
there.
I'm expecting Josh Allen to be slowed down a little bit compared to how he normal like the rest of the season.
I think he's trying to make a case for MVP for himself.
I agree. Yeah, he is
And
trying to make
I
a
know
case.
that him.
And so is Jared Goff.
I don't think Jared Goff is going for an MVP season. I think he probably doesn't give a fuck about the MVP. To
He's
him,
just trying to get the
that is
win.
a single person award. I think he's definitely looking at like I want to take the Lions to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which makes me that I mean he's been really good about giving the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
And which I mean it's probably Dan Campbell, not Jared Goff, but making to give do a lot of runs because they probably know they're not going to have this team forever.
Yeah.
This is their year to go to the Super Bowl, and Jared Goff is happy to play at an MVP level this season. I don't think he's trying to get an MVP, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I was just saying, like maybe he's seeing all the talk now. Maybe he wants to try and do it, but
I mean, he's not. I mean, you look at it; he's only got 10 interceptions, and if you
25 TDs, yeah.
If you take away 5 of those interceptions because
threw 5 in one game,
and I mean, it's not terrible.
No, it's not. And it definitely seems like all the Lions are bought into Dan Campbell's program.
Oh, dude,
100%.
Who isn't on that team?
Like just from watching the media clips that they put up there.
The only person I can see potentially not staying alive forever is Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the thing where he posted maybe plays or partial plays on the social media. I can potentially see in Dan Campbell going like, I could probably trade this guy away and maybe drafting like a wide receiver. Aiden Hutchinson potentially coming back for a playoff push.
Yeah.
I hope they don't rush him,
Yeah. So this next one's hard for me.
He just came back in the box, man. So, sorry.
This next one's hard for me because it's
Battle of Philadelphia or
Battle of Pennsylvania.
Excuse me.
Steelers versus Eagles in Philly. And I'm gonna look back with how the Steelers played against the Ravens.
If they
can lock down Saquon.
I mean, can we look at the Steelers stuff real quick? They have been playing pretty good ball, and I don't think they're getting enough of the recognition. I mean, look at that. So here's the thing: you got to stop Saquon.
Yes.
But I mean, if you look at how they're scoring, they 27 in their last win, 44. They lost and they had 19. But I mean, they're doing a lot better scoring wise comparatively than how they've been. I mean, the Ravens, wasn't it all field goals?
If you look at the beginning of the season
wasn't it all field goals that they beat the Ravens?
Yeah.
They can't do that. They need Russell Wilson, and I mean, is Pickens, because I know Pickens was out this last game. Is he back in?
It looks like he's going to be back in this next one.
Okay,
but they still scored 27 without him.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, oh wait, no, Steelers likely to be out be without Pickens versus Eagles.
Damn, that's tough.
I'm gonna stick with my Steelers. I think they got it.
I think you could definitely have the confidence to go like they can win, but they need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with the Eagles.
And I'm totally understand of that position too. It's just like they're
and
both...
I'm not confident about the pick.
Yeah.
I'm not
confident about mine either.
Yeah.
And like but I'm gonna stick with my team.
Do we have a quick minute for me to pee?
Do you just want to knock out the last few?
Yeah, hurry up. I'm bouncing. Bouncing and moaning.
And then I'll close this out.
Next week.
Oh shit.
I just pissed myself. I don't know if you want to talk about the basketball training, but
Oh wait, no, yeah, go pee, and then I'll talk fucking Patriots Cardinals.
okay, you talk it over.
Yeah. So Patriots Cardinals, the Patriots have definitely played a lot better. They've surprised me, even though they're still losing. But like they've, if you look at it, I'll pull it up here. It was against the Seahawks, 23-20. The Jets, they had a terrible loss. Dolphins, it was 15-10. They've definitely continuously have surprised me. Like they beat the Bears 19-3. And they played against the They kept it competitive with the Rams 28-22, and then competitive with the Colts 25-24. So I'm definitely going to lean more towards Cardinals on this one, but I'm not going to be surprised if it's a lot closer game going into it, just because the Patriots have this like weird like coin flip of a fucking team that they have. We're like, oh, we want to play this game. Oh, we want to fucking not show up. And it could also be the same thing that Matt was saying earlier, was that these teams are just like, all right, cool, fuck it, we're out of it. We're not even going to be having a chance for it. So we're just going to rest up our players, protect, they're going to be coming up with that mentality. While the Cardinals have a fire underneath their ass and they need to fucking win to get in the playoffs. And I think that's definitely a lot better of a motivation, at least, for actually playing through this game. So that's why I'm going to end up going with the Cardinals over the Patriots, which is perfect timing for you.
I'm also going Cardinals. I think after dropping that game to Seattle, they need to win more games.
Yeah. And like
to stay competitive with. I mean, it's such a tight race.
Yeah.
It's such a tight race. So the Cardinals need to win a game like this, especially in Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, being 7-7 going in. I mean, we're down the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Patriots have surprised me in
yes.
a lot of they surprised both of us, and I call them a coin flip of a team.
And you know what? Like we were talking about offensive rookie of the years. I don't want to take too much away from Drake May.
No.
I mean, they took out Jacoby Brissett and they've been putting him in for a while, and he hasn't been looking awful.
No.
Especially, I mean, fucking, what is his first name? Stevenson. What is his first name?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre. I mean, you're a fantasy owner of him. How's he been doing?
Coin flip of a player.
Like good games, bad games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like games where I expect him to run very well.
And he has a tight end, Hunter Henry, who not
terrible.
Not an S tier tight end, but not
he's not
terrible.
Gronk, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I couldn't even name you any other wide receivers off the top of my head.
Me neither.
I can't think of one. I can't think of a single one.
It's why for this next one, for Bucks Chargers, I'm gonna go with the Bucks over Chargers.
Can we click in there? I want to see if Bucky Irving. Oh man, look at that split.
Bucky Irving's not on the IR report.
He's questionable.
Yeah. But McConkey is on IR. But he also is questionable, so I don't know. And Justin Herbert's also questionable too.
McConkey's not on IR.
McConkey, yeah, he is.
That says
Lad McConkey.
That says but that says wide receiver, not IR. He's questionable.
Underneath injury report.
Yes, but that's not on the IR.
Yeah.
Because Bucky Irving is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, when I say IR on this one, I mean.
Or I say because like Mike Evans, or sorry, Mark. Yeah, but no, like he's not on the IR.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bucks. I also love Baker Mayfield, so
I do like Baker Mayfield.
And Herbo's questionable.
That defense for the Chargers though is really tough, and I've been
tough.
I've been on them all season. I've been making dumb decisions all night. Let's go Chargers. Let's watch them roll. It's a 50-50 on
Yeah.
ESPN. So let's just roll.
Packers Seahawks. I'm gonna lean Packers.
I'm gonna go Packers too, but I think this is still a winnable game for Seattle.
Oh, it definitely is, 100%. I honestly could have flipped a coin, and that could have made my decision for me. And then Bears Vikings.
That's
Vikings.
Yeah. Now, if the Bears handled business versus the 49ers, like, I mean, not beat them by like 3 points, handle business, like beat the fuck out of them, I would be having maybe a little bit more thought, but just seeing how they lost to the 49ers, such a beat up team, they got beat that bad.
And then Sam Darnold just had
a great game. Versus I mean, not that the Falcons are that big as they were at the beginning of the season, but
I'm gonna go Falcons over Raiders for this last one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Even though I was just talking shit on them.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean the 2-11 team.
Yeah. Before you went to go pee, you mentioned basketball trading.
Well, hold up. Before we do that, let's look at the standings real quick. I just want to do a quick little thing before you start. Before we get white Coach Carter back.
Playoff.
So I mean, look at the. No, go back to the standings. Sorry, because I look at the AFC East. The Bills have clinched.
Jets are out, and so is New England.
And you just got the Dolphins fighting for a wild card spot. Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't think they clinched the division. No, they did. Excuse me. They clinched the division.
Then you get to the AFC North, and the only team that's out is the Cleveland Browns.
Which, I think not really surprised.
No, not really surprised. But also,
I would be really surprised if the Bengals make it to the wild card.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Baltimore, dude, that's going to be.
Yeah.
That is whoever finished. I think, however, this next game goes between the two of them, that is what's going to solve it for me of who's going to win the AFC North. Yeah. I need to turn on the Hard Knocks for AFC North. I'm just so curious. I haven't.
I kind of want to wait till the end of the season though, and then just watch it all in full, just so I can see how the season played out, and then see what was going on behind the scenes.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's not a bad look. Houston and Colts, I don't think those are the two teams that you're going to be seeing. Like, one of those teams is going to be the division leader going into the playoffs, and the other one's going to be eliminated.
Yep.
I don't see both of these guys getting
100%,
in.
No.
So, and that's why we were talking about earlier with Houston has it, like, I mean, if
Houston has to win out.
I wouldn't say has to win out because they're up by 2 games, but they have a chance to fumble the bag.
Yeah.
To a team that, I mean.
Oh, fuck. I read that as 6. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the AFC West, that's, I mean, the Chiefs, Broncos, the Chargers. That's, I mean, I'm kind of going. I think the Chargers have a good chance of making it into the play in the wild card.
Yeah.
Just with Harbaugh, the coach.
Yep.
You're getting a lot of those players back. The defense is elite.
Yeah.
Honestly. But I can also see the Broncos potentially making it in. I mean, a young, scrappy quarterback. You got an experienced coach when Sean Payton. I don't want to count those two teams out like I did Indianapolis versus or in Houston. One of those teams is just not going to make it. But the Dolphins, the Chargers, and the Broncos and the Ravens, that's a really tight bunch to see who's going to get the wild card. Excuse me, Ravens and Pittsburgh. So AFC AFC divisional ball.
Yeah.
Like, we know, like, Chiefs are going to be in there.
So
at least either the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Ravens.
So the Steelers have the Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs for the last 3 games.
That's tough. That is a tough.
The Steelers have probably the hardest
out of the 3.
Yeah.
Like, with the last 3, that's tough. Yeah. Who does Baltimore have for the last 3?
I don't think it's much.
Well, they have the Steelers.
Yeah.
Which
other than the Steelers,
that's a tough ball team. what they probably have another AFC North game. So potentially what?
I think it's the
No,
Browns.
yeah, they already played the Bengals twice. So yeah, it has to
No,
be.
it's Giants, Pitt, and Houston.
Oh goddamn.
Yeah,
And dude, like if that's a game that Houston needs to win to get in,
yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in Houston
No,
right
me
now.
neither. And like, yeah, like if you look at
unless Baltimore already sits, like they already clinch and they're just gonna sit out Lamar and Derek,
yeah,
then I'm not really, then it would be a different story then. But
yeah, like after week 9, I think the Steelers have had probably the hardest schedule in all of NFL this year. They have Washington, who was hot at the time. Then you have Baltimore. Then you have AFC matchup Cleveland. Then you have AFC matchup Cincinnati.
to me, it
Then
is
you have
very
Cleveland.
criminal that Pittsburgh is not getting a lot of the recognition
Oh,
that at least that I'm
100%.
seeing.
Yeah,
I feel a lot of talk goes to the Bills, which they deserve.
they deserve.
The Chief, which I don't want to say they don't deserve because they are a 12-1 ball
Yeah.
club.
But they're definitely the softest 12-1 ball club
We've seen in a long time.
ever. The stats are showing ever.
Yes, but that's what happens when you have a veteran quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. You have a Hall of Fame coach
Yep.
in Andy Reid. I mean,
You got
Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Kelce.
Excuse me, Travis Kelce. You got Chris Jones.
Yeah.
And
you got Kareem Hunt back.
Yeah, but he's
and
not.
You got Pacheco back too.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a really stout wide receiver core.
No.
But I mean, that's still a dangerous team.
Yeah.
Even though, they're not playing the best ball, but they're still winning with.
They're still a dangerous team.
And
And whoever came up with that schedule for the fucking Steelers, I want to find them and fight them. All right.
If we transition into the NFC,
you got Philly clinching,
and then Giants already eliminated.
Yep.
I mean, Dallas has to be pretty close to, seeing their elimination. But I mean, the Giants are the first team eliminated in the NFC.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes sense.
They're all fairly competitive, and there's only been 2 teams that have clinched.
It's crazy that both the teams from New York have both been.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense when you look at them. Lions clinched.
I honestly think it's going to be Minnesota. I want to say Green Bay in the wild card. I really think it's going to be NFC North filling those 2 wild card spots.
I would be surprised. I'd be very surprised to see the Vikings choke this late.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're looking at the NFC West, I mean, that's such a stout, not stout, excuse me, I don't want to use that word. That's just like right now, it's just like I can see the Rams and the Seahawks both squeaking in.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I got to take a look at who the Packers finish out with, who the Vikings finish out with. If I'm looking at it, I mean, Tampa Bay only has a lead of their division by 1 game.
So the Packers have Seattle, New Orleans, and then Minnesota.
Seattle has.
No, the Packers have Seattle, New Orleans, and Minnesota for the last 3.
Which, I mean, if those 2, who does Minnesota have besides? I mean, we know who the last one is. They're playing Green Bay.
Let me pull that one up for you. I'm just going off my fantasy. They have Chicago, Seattle, and Green Bay.
That's a tough set of 3 games for the Vikings. And I mean, you're kind of counting out the Commanders right now.
Yeah.
Well, we both are.
Yeah.
The Commanders can definitely squeak in. If the last 3 games for Minnesota, those are 3 tough ball clubs to beat.
I'm trying to see if my opponent has anybody from Washington, which they don't. Because I would just pull it up and then.
The Rams, I think they have a really good chance with the last. I mean, so we have the 49ers, we have the Jets, we have the Cardinals, and then we have the Seahawks. And I think, if we win out, I feel so much better about it.
Yeah.
I can for sure see us winning the 49ers and the Jets. The last time we played the Cardinals, they really took care of business. But I mean, we beat the Seahawks earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I can see a future of us definitely getting in there and winning
Mhm.
is going to be tough
Yeah.
for the last two. The Jets, I mean,
I think it's going to be really hard for whoever's deciding just with the NFC because you have Washington holding a wild card spot.
let's see who Washington's playing for their last three. Sorry. I can do that. You're
Okay. But yeah, you have Washington fighting for a wild card spot. You have Minnesota, Green Bay. Atlanta's kind of in there, but kind of not. They're on the outer edge.
They're not looking at wild card. They're definitely looking at like, okay, we can at least get our division.
Yeah. And then you have St. Louis or Seattle, the Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers all fighting for.
See, the Commanders, I don't want to say it's tough, but they have the Saints, they have the Commanders, they have the Falcons, and they have the Cowboys.
The Commanders play themselves.
Who did I say?
You said the Saints, Commanders, and the Cowboys.
Sorry, Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys for their last four. That's, I mean, they should have beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But that was in DC. They had to go to
Dallas.
But the Dallas team, like, what have they even gotten a win at home yet? Isn't that
I think they got one.
That's like their big stats. They haven't been winning at home.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine they're gonna lose to that team twice.
No.
With how they are. I think Jaden Daniels needs to lock in.
Yeah.
And
this is where Jaden Daniels makes a statement for Rookie of the Year by balling out. 100%. Like if he can outperform Bo Nix for these last 3 weeks, it will fucking.
Would you determine it like so because we talked about let's just our top two is Bo Nix and Jay McDaniels. Both of those teams have a chance to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Would you say whoever
makes it in
is kind of who you're leaning towards?
Well, I think that's who how the committee or whoever is going to be picking is going to see it. Who can drag their team to the playoffs? That's 100% how I see them picking it.
Where the fuck are the Broncos?
The Broncos are in the AFC West.
I know where they are. I'm just saying, like, I can't find them. Oh, that's because that was fucking last week. And they didn't play last week. They had a bye. So the Broncos' last four, they have the Colts, they have the Chargers, they have the Bengals, and they have the Chiefs. That is a tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean, especially, you have the chance to beat the Chiefs. And do you think the Chiefs are going to throw out their starters in their last? So. I don't think so either. The Bengals, though, that's still a dangerous team, even if they get eliminated. Like, still potentially team. Joe Burrow might be like, hey, I'm still showing my tape because maybe I get the fuck up out of Cincinnati. Yeah. I don't want him to. I want him to stay in Cincinnati. But I mean, his house just got robbed. So, like, you can only love the Cincinnati fan base so much right now.
Well, he's going to hop in that Batmobile and drive someplace else.
And then they got the Chargers. So
I think the Chargers are definitely the weakest team. No, I won't say the Bengals are the weakest team of their last few games that they
100%. Yeah.
That's absolutely rough.
So there's a lot of it's really tight right now.
Yeah.
As we get to the last 4 games of the season.
Yeah. But we've already been going at it for almost 2 hours now. So, oh shit, fuck, basketball. So you're training up for a game.
Well, we got 2 games. The more important one on my mind is Beer Olympics.
Okay.
Because that's when all the boys get together. Potentially it's a you and me mashup where we're going versus each other.
Yeah.
We haven't confirmed that yet, but it's
I like that idea.
Strong, strong maybe.
And I think we are the ones organizing it, so I think it is fair that we're the ones that pick.
Yes.
And are like team captains.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been training you up with basketball and whatnot, and
you've been we did 1 practice.
Well, I want to do it again today.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I have a whole different set of what I want to teach you on. It's playing in the post offense and defense. We kind of covered a little bit yesterday. but like you already showed really good improvement just off that one practice.
Mhm.
I taught you the proper mechanics for shooting the ball,
Mhm.
and you fucking started to go off. And
I'm
just like,
coachable.
yeah.
I'm a coachable player.
Is that like something coaches had always said for you?
No.
No?
No.
That was always something coaches had always told, like,
Well, I've they have never said that like, oh, he's stubborn, he's hard-headed.
yeah,
But I haven't done a sport where I come in really shitty and
yeah,
then do really well after coaching.
yeah,
I mean, baseball, I was like, I mean, we only had like 2 teams
yeah,
because I've always been in like smaller leagues.
yeah,
Um, and then, but I mean, when I was doing football, that was all backyard.
yeah,
And the people I'm playing,
Yeah.
oh, he's a really coachable guy.
yeah,
No.
no.
Unless we do
Yeah.
JUCO, man. Walk on JUCO
We're gonna go walk on JUCO and play football.
and then transfer portal out after we do really well.
And
Like
then next thing you know, you're gonna see us fucking
getting that
getting
money.
getting that fucking NIL money. I'll be
Mhm.
sitting there fanning myself.
Why not? Why not us?
Um, but yeah, so like when I played in junior T-Birds,
Mm.
and then also actually going into play, I played with a lot more athletic players, but they also did like end of year, reviews for like the players themselves.
None of my teams have ever done that ever.
Yeah, I think that might be more of like a select league kind of deal.
Probably. I didn't have money for select, so
We barely did.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I think my parents were definitely pinching pennies when I was playing like select basketball.
Mm.
But like they also noticed though too is that like the competition I had within Catholic youth schools.
Well, I mean, that can only be so fucking.
Yeah, there was not a whole lot of competition. They saw me playing very well there. They're like, all right, cool, let's give them much higher competition.
I really like the advent calendar, but they're so fucking head heavy
Yeah.
that they fall over every like just thinking about it makes them
Yeah.
fall over.
But yeah, that was always something coaches always said for me is that he's very coachable and whatnot.
Coachable.
And I had great basic mechanics. I was never the most athletic though, of like compared to my team though. I had athleticism,
Mhm.
but I wasn't like standout athlete out there.
I think people, something that I have been told, not by coaches, but just in general, is I think people, I have not a sleeper build, but I have a sleeper athleticism
Oh,
about
you
me.
definitely do.
I'm very light on my feet as a big guy. I got
Oh,
pretty good
yes.
balance, and I think a lot of people overlook that. Got pretty good
100%.
hands for football too. Yeah.
I'm just like, when we were playing football together, that backyard shit, I'm sitting there like, damn, all right.
Yeah.
Like this is Mr. Reliable right here for me.
Yeah.
And like you ended up being my reliable player whenever we did the pickup games and shit. And I'm kind of glad we're starting to get back into like playing more pickup and stuff.
Yeah.
And like getting to it. I'm like feeling like a kid again.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, dude.
I'm getting my spark of youth back.
And I mean, as long as you keep up with it, and we're doing the weight training and the other athletic stuff on the side, you're not gonna wake up feeling like, oh, I can't move. I'm too old for this shit, you know.
So, but yeah, today we're gonna be going back in doing some more training on basketball. We're gonna get to it.
I wish I'd known that. I would have. I've been wanting to train legs. I've been wanting to do like a leg day for me, and I was like, well, I guess I'm doing basketball training today. Because my plan today was like, all right, we'll do leg day, and then I'll just shoot some baskets just for like a fun thing. But yeah, we got training to do, I guess.
We got training. I need to get you trained up for these games. All right. I'm dedicated. You're my first real coaching
pupil.
pupil. So
Padawan, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, so this has been the MattCast podcast. I am Matty Light, joined by my co-host Matty J. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.